Welcome to Yoga and Art this morning. Thank you for joining us. So my name is Parmjit Sagoo, and I'll be guiding you through the session through today. And this Yoga and Art session has been inspired by our current exhibition at New Art Exchange, which is Trinity by Hetain Patel. And Trinity is a trio of films which Hetain has been working on, and it's been inspired by his own explorations of the film world over the past few years. So these films use a lot of physical language. They use martial arts, they use slow motion, sign language, contemporary dance, and there's also some quite epic soundtracks that have been especially composed that go with the film narratives as well. So you'll see some of those influences in the yoga practice that we do today. Now, this particular yoga and art session has been inspired by The Jump, which is one of Hetain's earliest films. It's the earliest film that he made in the trilogy that is currently featuring at New Art Exchange. I'll talk a little bit more about where The Jump has come from, what Hetain's inspiration has been when we get to that point of viewing it during the session. So what will happen today is we'll very soon be moving into a yoga practice, which I'll guide you through, and I will demonstrate all the way through, and I'll also offer choices and variations and modifications all the way through, so you can choose what feels best for you. So really do listen to your body as you go through the practice. Take the choices that work for you so that you feel safe all the way through. Then after the physical practice, we will settle ourselves to watch The Jump, and there are two films involved in that section. Once you've watched The Jump, you'll come back to me, and we'll move into just a few floor postures and then into a deep guided relaxation. So that's the pattern of what we're doing today. And as I said, please do listen to your body and take the different choices that I give you to keep yourself safe during the session. So let's make a start. We're going to start on the floor. So if you bring yourselves to lying down, back on the floor, settling yourself down here, wriggle the shoulders, wriggle the legs to sort of feel really settled and connected to the ground here. And close your eyes for a moment, and you may even want to rest your hands on your belly to help you connect with your breath as you breathe in and out. So you can softly gaze up at the ceiling, or you can close your eyes so you can really focus on the breathing. So as we're lying here, we're not going to be here too long. We're not going into a relaxation at this point. But as you're lying here, as you breathe in, feel the rise of the belly and the fall of the belly as you inhale and exhale. Just watching the breath, noticing the breath, focusing all your attention on your breathing. Feeling the expansion of the lower abdomen as you inhale, and the lowering down of the abdomen as you exhale, and that softening through the body as you exhale. So with each exhale, let yourself soften onto the ground. As I said, we're not moving into a total relaxation here. Just explore that softness that happens as you breathe out. And for the next few breaths, breathe in, inhale, exactly as you are, but take more time over your exhale. So let the air out slower as you exhale. This is all through the nose. And again, just really settle into that softening on the exhale. So inhaling through the nose, and then taking more time with the exhale, feeling that softening, that easing up all the way through the body. Great. Just a couple more of those breaths. And then release that longer exhale and go back to just normal breathing, inhaling, exhaling without that longer exhale. And then stretch your arms above your head and let the backs of the hands touch the floor behind you. Stretch through the toes, stretch the fingers, breathe in as you do this. Then as you breathe out, keep your arms and your legs exactly where they are, but soften the toes, soften the fingers, soften the body as you exhale. And again, breathing in, stretch, point your toes away, point the fingers away, stretch through the whole body. And as you breathe out, softening, relaxing the muscles. One more time, breathing in, stretching through the fingers and toes. Breathing out, softening, relaxing the body. Great. Bring your arms back, overhead, back to resting by your side. And then from here, we're going to bend one knee, then the other knee, so both soles of the feet are on the floor. And then before you lift your feet off the floor, just check in with your lower abdominal muscles here. You're going to ever so slightly pull them in. So you're feeling a pulling in the lower tummy, lower belly, which will activate your core muscles. So it's a very slight action, it's not harsh. And then you lift your feet off the floor. And you can either have one hand on each knee, or you can hug the knees in to your body here. You can wrap the arms around your legs and squeeze in here. And then gently rock your back from one side to the other. And this just massages out the lower back first thing this morning. Helps activate our back, our spine. Okay, then bring your knees back to center. And you're actually going to place your right foot back down onto the floor. I'm going to do a really, really lovely stretch here. So resting your left ankle onto your right thigh. And then with your hands, you're reaching round to the back of your right thigh. And as you do that, your right foot is lifting off the floor. Keep the bottom part of the right leg relaxed. Keep your head on the floor, and you're just pulling in. You're pulling in that right leg. And the stretch should be happening in the left buttock area. We're just easing out the muscles that are sitting there, which will come in useful for some of the positions that we're going to do later, some of the sequences we're going to do later. Just hold this here. Breathing in, breathing out. And again, on that breath out, using that breath out to help soften the muscles in that left buttock area. Just a few more seconds here. Okay. So we're going to unravel. Bring ourselves out of that position, bring the feet back onto the floor, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So this time you're lifting your right ankle, resting it on the left thigh, reaching your hands around the back of the left thigh, and then pulling in the left thigh in towards you, resting that lower part of the left leg down, so it's resting down, it's not held up, it's just being quite heavy, resting down, knees bent, and you're pulling in. And this time the stretch will be happening in the right buttock area, in the muscles there. So hold that there. Keep breathing. So we're holding the posture, but we're keeping the breath flowing. Using that out breath to help the muscles that we're stretching to release. A few more seconds. Okay, lovely. So from this position, we're going to unravel. Again, keep the feet in the air this time. Hug in the left knee. So you're pressing the hands down onto the shin, hugging in the left knee, and stretching out the right leg. We're actually not going to rest the leg on the floor. We're going to keep it suspended in the air. So here you will need to engage those abdominal muscles. So make sure you've got that pulling in happening in the lower abdomen to support you here. Holding, and then swapping over. Right leg pressing into your body, left leg stretching out
and it's a few centimetres off the floor, so it's suspended in the air. And then we're going to move from one to the other. So taking your time, moving from the left leg stretched out to the right leg stretched out. So you can keep it at this slow and steady pace. If you're feeling energetic this morning, you can take it a little bit faster, but only if that feels okay for you. So just the last few. And now you can stay with this movement, or you can release the hands by your side and turn this movement into a cycling action. So as if you're cycling into the air, up into the sky. So we'll begin at a moderate pace, keeping that cycling action going. And if this feels like it's not right for you, go back to what we were doing just earlier with the knee hugs. And then we're going to totally slow this down. So it feels as if you're cycling in slow motion. Really slow this down. You'll need to engage those core muscles for this. I'll keep reminding you of that. See if you can slow it down even more. This actually makes the core muscles work harder. So see if you can slow that down even more. We'll do a few more cycles here. Brilliant. And then relax, hug your knees in, wrap your arms around or rest one hand on each knee, and rock your back from side to side. Fabulous. Okay, so taking the arms away, again, engage the core muscles. And we're going to swing, we're going to give ourselves some momentum here and actually rock to sitting up and then rocking back. So having that moment where we're on the floor and then we're bending ourselves in the air and then rooting back down through our feet. So just do a few of these. Last three. I think this is the last one, I've lost count. Okay, and then land your feet on the floor and just take a moment here to settle, just coming to upright. So just resting your hands on your knees, taking a deep inhale, and a nice sigh out through the mouth. Okay, so from this position, we're going to come to being cross-legged. I'm just going to do some work with the upper body here. So resting your hands on your knees, and we'll do some work with the shoulders first. So lifting the shoulders up, rolling them backwards, lifting the shoulders up again, rolling them backwards. And when you're comfortable with that movement, we'll add the breath. So breathe in, breathe out as you lower the shoulders. Breathing in as you lift the shoulders up towards the ears, breathing out as you lower the shoulders. And just keep that going, and hopefully you'll feel your shoulders easing up. Especially at this time of year when it's quite cold, we can hold quite a lot of tension in our shoulders. So let's just get them nice and loose before we move on. Okay, and then switching the direction of that. So again, lifting the shoulders up towards the ears, and then rolling them forwards this time as you breathe out. And keep that movement going. And then with this work with our shoulders, we'll just do a few shrugs here, just to shake out any lingering tension that's there. So keep those shakes going. Lovely. Okay, last few. And release down, release down. So from here, if you can rest your right hand down onto the floor, just going to focus on the sides of our bodies for a bit. So lifting your left hand into the air. Root through the sitting bones, really. So as you're lifting the arm, root through the sitting bones and connect the other hand, your right hand, to the floor. So if you're really solid, then as you feel solid through the sitting bones and through that hand, you're not putting any weight into the right hand, move into a side bend. So you're especially focusing on keeping that left sitting bone rooted to the floor. Into a side bend. And then sweeping your arms forwards, resting the left hand on the floor, lifting right arm into the air, rooting especially through that right sitting bone, into the side bend. Sweeping your arms forward in a half circle, and then swapping sides again. So breathing in as you lift your arm, breathe out as you go into the side bend. Sweeping forwards, swapping over, breathing in as you move into the side bend. Exhale as you do that sweep forwards. And just keep going from one side to the other. So a nice mini flow. Moving from left to right. Remember to inhale on the lift. Exhale as you go into the side bend and through into that sweep. One more on each side. Last one. Lovely. And then resting both hands on the floor, spreading the fingers wide. Spreading the fingers wide. And really feeling that connection with the ground. And that connection between your sitting bones and the ground as well. Take a deep breath in here. And sigh out. Softening your shoulders, softening your arms. Okay. Then lifting your arms up. Elbows are bent. Palms are facing forwards. We're going to go into a twist, which is a really, really beautiful release for the upper back. So keep the arms raised at shoulder height. So just be aware as we're moving through this sequence. Just be aware of them and try not to let them fall down as we're moving. Okay, so hold here with strength. So from here, we're going to twist to the left, twist to the right, and just get some momentum going with that movement. So here I invite you to either move quite steadily or slowly if that feels right for you, or you can actually go quite fast from left to right. It depends on your energy levels and what feels good for you here. And once you've found your rhythm, add the breath. So the breath here is breathe in to the left, breathe out to the right. Breathe in to the left, breathe out to the right. Inhale left, inhale right. So if you're moving fairly fast, your breathing will be fast, matching with that pace. So keep going. Breathing into the left, breathing out to the right, keeping those arms up, the upper arms at shoulder height. Just be aware if they're dropping and just adjust them back up to that shoulder height position. Keep the palms facing forwards. Okay. Keep going. 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Keep the arms there. Face the center. We're going to turn this twist. We're going to shift the arm position. We're going to turn this twist into more of a punching out action, so warrior style. So as you twist, you're going to reach out and punch and twist at the same time, keeping your sitting bones rooted to the floor, and the same in the other direction. So we're going from one to the other. Now you can keep doing the breathing in to the left, breathing out to the right, which is a bit tricky with this. There's another breath here that I'm going to invite you to do. It's a variation of the breath of fire, which is, as you're punching out, it's like you're sniffing out. And you've got this mini inhale going on in between. So just have a go at that, but if it makes you feel lightheaded, just go back to normal breathing, okay? So let's just go back into that. So this is breath of fire. It activates our center of courage, our warrior, inner warrior. Keep those arms up at shoulder height. Keep going. Keep the strength to the arms as you're twisting and punching out. Release any tension that you may have. Just let it go. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the arms in, pull the fists in so the elbows are bent and the fists are by your side. Breathe in here, chin to chest. Breathe out, relax the arms and relax the hands. And just for a moment, in fact, place your hands on your belly. Just for a moment, it's our center of courage. Breathe in and out, just feeling that connection between your hands and our center of courage. This is where our courage sits. Okay, opening your eyes if you've got your eyes closed. And from this seated position, we're now going to go onto all fours. So coming onto your knees and your hands. Actually, just give your wrists a bit of a shake here so they're feeling nice and loose. And maybe rotate them in one direction and then the other, so they're really ready for some weight bearing. And then you're lining up your wrists with your shoulders and you're lining up your knees with your hips. Starting off in a flat back, and we're going to do what's called the cat-cow posture here. So real focus on the flexibility of the spine here. So focus your attention on your lower back, tucking your lower back in, squeezing up the tummy muscles and moving your chin to your chest. Then you're going to flex the spine in the opposite direction. So you're pushing your tailbone away, dipping the belly, looking forwards. And if you want to slightly extend that movement, you can gaze gently upwards as well. And we'll do a few repetitions of this. So just breathe in here as you're looking up. And then as you're breathing out through the nose, rounding up the back, tucking the tailbone under. Pushing your tailbone away, dipping the belly, looking forwards, the spine moving in the opposite direction. So you can stay with this steady pace, or you can go a little bit faster with this movement, breathing in as you're dipping the belly, breathing out as you're rounding the back. So go at the pace that feels right for you. Okay, and now, in the spirit of Heitain's fascination with slow motion, we're going to explore this movement in slow motion. So focus in on that lower back again, and very slowly you're going to tuck the tailbone under, pull the belly in, tuck your chin into your chest, and then pushing your tailbone away, dipping the belly really slow, raising your eyes, raising the head, raising the chin. So it's like each vertebrae, so we're going to go back to rounding the back. Each vertebrae is moving one at a time. It's really slow, really mindful. Okay, just keep going at this slow pace, exploring your body, noticing how this feels in your spine. And when you move more slowly, you do notice what your body is doing more and how your muscles and joints are reacting to each posture, each sequence we do. So we will have these moments of slowing down all the way through our physical practice this morning. Okay. And then coming back to neutral position, sitting your buttocks onto your heels, stretching the arms out in front of you. Keep your gaze at the space between the hands with your fingers spread wide. So again, we're focusing on the flexibility of the spine here. We're going from extended child's position to lifting our buttocks off our heels, moving the hips forward, arching the back, and looking upwards into upward facing dog. So try and keep the shoulders down, not scrunched up by your ears as much as possible. So moving from extended child, sitting back on your heels, to upward facing dog with the hips coming forwards,
back arching, looking upwards, or forwards if your neck is not liking looking upwards. Okay, and let's keep going. Find your rhythm here again. And you breathe in as you come forwards. Breathe out as you're moving backwards. So inhale forwards. And exhaling as you move backwards. If for any reason this is feeling uncomfortable, you can go back to the cat-cow on all fours position we were doing earlier. So again, really listen to yourself this morning and pick what works for you. Okay, last three. Lovely, and just for a moment, sit back on your heels, shake out the wrists, because we've been doing a lot of weight bearing on them. And then coming back into upward facing dog, and then moving this into plank. So engaging your core muscles, engaging your lower abs, holding in plank, toes tucked under. And then from plank, we're lifting the hips into the air, drawing the heels down, keeping a softness in the knees. You can even bend the knees into downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, it's like you're pushing away from the mat, hips high. Okay, and from here, again, if this feels strong for you, you can go to cat-cow, or you can stick with the upward facing dog, extended child pose that we just did now. If you want to have a go, we're going from here into plank. Breathing out into downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. So this is very much about core strength. Keep those lower abs engaged. Last three. Okay, last one. Brilliant. Drop those knees down, toes together, knees out. Take a pause here. There's a strong postures. Walk your hands out in front of you, stretch the arms out, rest the forehead if you can onto your mat. Let the head be heavy. If you need to, you can also make a pillow with your fists and rest your forehead onto the fists that you're making. And take a few deep breaths here. Having a moment of stillness after all that flow. Lovely. Okay. So from here, rising up to sitting. And we're going to move into a squat. So I'll turn this way so you can see what I'm doing. So we're on our toes, the heels are off the floor, and the knees are wide with the hands resting in between. The fingers are spread quite wide, the fingertips are spread wide, and they're in contact with the floor. If this doesn't feel right for you, you can do a half squat, which is knees bent, feet fully on the floor, you're halfway, and the arms are stretched out in front of you. Okay? So I'll show you this variation first, and then I'll show you the other variation of this mini sequence. So from here into forward bend. Breathing in, squat. Breathing out, forward bend. And we're just going to repeat that. So you can stay here, and that might be exactly what you need right now. Or we can go into that full squat that I showed you earlier. And if you're doing this choice, we're going from here to putting the heels on the floor. The toes are slightly pointing out a little bit here just to help you with alignment. And you're moving into a full forward bend here. Keep some soft in the knees, don't lock them in. Okay, so we're going from squat, breathing in, forward bend, breathing out. Breathing in, looking forward, squat. Breathing out, forward bend, hinging from the hips.
So remember to lift your heels off the floor when you're in that squat. And keep going. So you may have tried both those choices and found the one that you really want to do. You can speed this up a little bit if you want to. Or you can keep at the slow, steady pace. 3 more. Last one. Lovely. And then coming into a forward bend. Whichever variation you did, coming into this forward bend. If the toes are pointing out, just bring them inwards so the feet are parallel to each other and at hip width apart. And from this forward bend, arms are loose, head is loose, bend the knees, slowly, slow motion, rise into standing. And once you've come to standing, chin rising last, arms flow up, reaching up towards the sky. Bringing the arms back down, drawing that circle around yourself. And then we'll go back into that forward bend. So tracing your fingers down your legs. Hinging from the hips, knees bent, fingertips touching the floor. And then slowly rising, the vertebrae stacking up on top of each other one at a time. And then the arms come out. Reach up. And we'll do that one more time. So bringing the arms out like you're drawing a circle around yourself. Letting the fingers trace down the legs as you slowly move into that forward bend. Resting here just briefly. Letting the fingertips brush the floor. Knees bent, and you want to deepen that knee bend. So you're pushing through the feet, engaging the core muscles as you're lifting up. Arms spreading wide, draw that bubble around yourself, reaching up all the way, and then bringing the hands down to rest on your heart, coming into mountain posture. And again, we'll take a pause here in mountain posture. So in mountain posture, your feet are hip width apart, shoulders are relaxed, engage the core. Close your eyes here if you'd like to. Relax the jawline. And breathe. Just take a few inhales and exhales here. Just let yourself settle into standing before we move into any sequences. Lovely. Okay, so bring your hands down by your side, and we're going to take the feet out shoulder width apart. Probably a little bit beyond shoulder width apart, actually. We're going to go into another twist, so we're really activating this center again. It's a loose twist, so the arms are quite loose. They start down low, and you're just taking them from one side to the other. And what you want to do is also lift the opposite heel off the floor. That just helps you twist a bit further. Just keeping the arms really loose, hip height. Just get that movement going, get the momentum going. The arms are just flowing through the air in flight, feeling light. And then lift the arms up gradually so they're at heart level, shoulder level, and then up into the air. Back to shoulder height. You can tap the opposite shoulder as you're twisting. And then lowering the arms so they're gradually coming back to where we started, at hip height. Keep the movement going. And then what we'll do is come back to a middle place, round about heart level. And we're going to go back into that slow motion. Slowing this twist down so it feels like you're moving from one side to the other with our arms in flight, really slowly. So go as slow as you can here. Brilliant. Okay, a few more to each side. See if you can go even slower. So it feels like a Tai Chi movement where you're pushing the air with your hands. One more to each side. Brilliant, and bring your arms back to center. We're actually going to go back to speeding that movement out and activating some of our courage and warrior energy. This will all make sense when you see the jump. So, make fists with your hands. And we're going to do the same twist, but this time, like we did sitting down, we're going to lift the opposite heel of the floor and we're going to punch away with our arm. Okay, so twisting and punching. And again here, you can just breathe normally, or you can do that breath of fire variation that I showed you, where it's like you're sniffing out quite strongly, and this all comes from the abs as you're punching out. And you've got that little inhale in between. But if that's uncomfortable, go back to normal breathing. Keep the arms up, don't let them drop. A little bit faster if you want to. Slow it down. Slow motion. Soften the movement, but keep that slow motion going. The strength is still there. One more to each side. Great. We did an extra one there. And then pull your fists in. Scrunch up the fists. Chin down to the chest. Breathe in, hold your breath here. And then release. Exhale out and soften the arms. Okay. Feet back to hip width apart. Just rest your hands on your belly for a moment. So if you have been doing the breath of fire, you might just need a moment just to settle here. So close your eyes, just breathe, breathe. So you feel your belly rise and fall. Beautiful. Okay. Bring your arms by your side. Coming back to mountain posture, really rooting through your feet. So your soles of your feet are very connected to the floor. And you've got this balance, this equal balance between left and right. Engage the core muscles. And we're going to go into a balance like we are taking flight. So you're going to raise the arms, elbows are bent. And taking your heels off the floor, stretch the arms up in front of you, elbows bent, palms facing you, and you're bending the knees, and you're swooping the arms past you, past your hips, and all the way back. So this is a slow movement, because the slower you do this, the more you're working your sense of balance, and the more you're working these leg muscles. So rising up, going as high as you want to, the heels off the floor, arms rise, and then heels back down, and arms sweep past you. And you will feel your legs shaking. Mine are shaking right now. So keep going, lifting, breathing. And then placing your heels on the floor. Arms sweep past you. Keep going. Breathe in. Rise, rise, rise. Breathe out. Ground your feet. Ground the heels. Arms swoop past you. And again. Breathing in. Rise. Breathe out. Keep those elbows bent. Arms sweep past your hips. 3 more. The magic 3. Breathe in. Bend the knees. Swoop the arms behind you. Breathing in. Grounding. Swooping the arms past your hips. 1 more time. And grounding through the heels. Arms sweep past you. And we're rising up to standing, rising up to standing. Now you are just slightly widening your feet here. And again, we're going to center in and focus in on our courage and our warrior energy here. So raising the arms up into the air, fists, bend the knees. And here, breathing in, as you breathe out, you're going to make a sound, okay? A lot of power, give it some power. So breathing in, bend the knees, circle the arms upwards, and then straightening your legs and really, really pulling in with some strength. And again, breathing in, reaching up, pulling in. Let's keep going, let's keep going. Keep the arms strong as you pull in. Remember, as you raise your arms, you're bending the knees and straightening the legs as you pull in. Three more. Last one, make it good. And hold here, keep that strength, widen the legs so they're a couple of shoulder widths apart. And then we're going to go into a warrior stance here. So maybe you want to relax the arms for a moment while you're focusing on your feet. So left foot comes out to 90 degrees. So it's following the line on the mat. And then your right heel just pushes back so you're able to look over to your left side. You're rotating the hips over so you're able to look over to your left side. Bend the knee here. And check that it's in line with the ankle, not further forwards. So we're looking, protecting our knee. Engage the core muscles. It's a bit of a balance. Okay, and just play around with bending the knee and straightening the knee and keeping your balance while doing this movement. Okay, and now we're going to add the arms. So this is similar to what we've just done. Okay, so as we bend the knees, we're going to reach out. So our arms are like wings reaching out, spanning out. Then they reach forwards, knees bent. And as we pull in, we straighten the leg, but we don't lock the knee joint in, okay? Just keep a little bit of softness there. So activate the thigh muscles to help you with that. Breathing in, reach forwards, bend the knee, and then straightening the leg, pulling in. Let's keep going. Three more. Hold here, and then flow the arms up and over like you're drawing a rainbow around yourself. Adjust the feet to do exactly the same in the other direction. Okay, so we'll start with just bending the knee, checking that alignment of keeping the knee in line with the ankle when you bend it. Making sure you're able to comfortably face this way, hips facing this way. Rooting through the back foot, finding your balance, engaging your core, and then we'll add the arms, okay? Ready? Reaching forwards, bend the knee, and then pulling in with that warrior superhero strength. Keep the power in the arms and really engage the leg muscles. Last three. And then coming to face forwards, keep the fists there. Bring your feet back to hip width apart. Hold here. We're going to pull the chin down to the chest. Breathe in, hold the breath. Hold here and squeeze through the arms, squeeze through the arms. You can even squeeze through the legs, squeeze your buttock muscles. And then as you sigh out, relax those muscles. So from here, okay, you might be feeling warmer, the heart rate might be going. Just go with it, really activating our inner fire, like I said, our warrior energy. And we're now going to go into a very, very beautiful sequence called the inner fire sequence. So some of what we've done already, you'll recognize, and it's coming into this sequence. So we'll begin in a measured way where I'll take you through each of the postures one at a time, and then we'll build up the flow with this, and we'll be repeating this sequence for quite a while, experimenting with doing it at a moderate, steady pace, and then going very, very slow with it as well, in the spirit of playing around with slow motion this morning. So feet are that shoulder width apart in that warrior stance. So just feel strong here, And again, we're going to take the right foot out at 90 degrees. We're going to push the left foot out 90 degrees, get my left, right, and right heel pushed back. So again, we're facing towards the left side. Bending the knee here, moving into warrior one position with it palms meet above your head, root through the back foot, keep those muscles engaged there in the back leg. Bending the knee, checking that alignment point of keeping it in line with the ankle. Hold here, warrior one. Flowing into warrior two. So left arm reaches forward, right arm reaches backwards. Check they're both at equal height, shoulder height. Hold here with strength. Okay. Then keeping the legs exactly where they are. The left forearm, we're going to go to side bend. Left forearm rests on the left thigh, and we reach the right arm into the air, and we can either keep it up in the air like this, gazing forwards, or you can take the arm by your shoulder, not shoulder, ear, okay, and hold there, okay? And then you can either take the right hand down and rest it on your right thigh as the left arm reaches behind you, okay? Or you can take the left hand down to the floor and reach the right arm behind, the right hand down to the floor, left arm reaching into the air, so we're in a twist. Both are twists, so just feel into which one is good for you this morning, okay? From here, strong legs, strong core muscles, we're going to go back into warrior one. Over to the other side. So adjust the feet. Warrior two, first of all, bending the knee, bending the right knee. Arms level, just check behind you that the arm isn't dropping. Okay, into the side bend. Actually, we've just missed out something. So we go into warrior one, then warrior two, then into the side bend. Left arm reaching either up into the air towards the ceiling or just a bit closer to your ear. And then into the twist, where you might do the resting on the thigh. For your left hand, right arm reaches back, or you're doing the full twist. And then from here, whichever variation you're doing there, you're coming back into warrior one. Swapping sides. So I'll guide you through it slowly, one more time to each side. And then I'm going to stop giving so many instructions, and we're just going to repeat from one to the other. And I'm just going to give you a bit of silence, really, just to really feel the flow. But I will continue demonstrating so that you can keep gazing at the screen to know what you're doing. Okay, so we start with warrior one, warrior two, that side bend, left forearm resting on the thigh, moving the arm up to the position you want it to be, either upwards or by the ear, gaze forwards here. Going into the twist, the variation you prefer here. Back into warrior one, rise slowly, engage those core muscles. Changing direction, adjusting the feet. Into warrior one. Root through the feet. Warrior two. Side bend. Twist. Warrior one. Okay, now let's go into that flow without me saying a lot. I'll try and not to speak so you can really just connect with the movement. And just keep breathing all the way through, just breathing at your own pace. Okay, so we're going to keep going from one side to the other. And the idea is it's like a moving meditation, that you really just feel into the movement. And the repetition, as you get more and more comfortable with it, you'll just begin to really move with it and be in the present moment. Okay. Changing direction. Changing direction. Moving to the other side. Okay, this time we're going to go extra slow. This may make your muscles shake. It makes my muscles shake when I go extra slow because I'm working hard. But let's try and embrace some of this slow motion that you'll see happening later in Heitain's film. So same flow. Again, I'll try not to talk too much so you can really feel into the slow motion. Warrior one. Warrior two. Side bend. Twist. Warrior one. Changing sides. Slow, slow, slow. Warrior one. Warrior two. Side bend. Twist. Rising up strongly. Warrior one. We'll stick with slow motion. We'll do one more, the sequence on each side. Warrior one. Warrior two. Arms out to the side. Side bend. Twist. Keep that slowness. Temptation is to speed up. Keep the slowness. Rising up. Arm coming down. Rising up into warrior one. Last time. Change sides. Let's see how slow we can go here. Warrior one. Warrior two. Side bend. Twist. Slow, slow, slow. With strength, back to warrior one. And then coming to face the front. Feet, toes facing the front. Keep them at the wide stance. Hands in prayer position, lower them. Bring them down. as you go into a forward bend. And then once you're here, relax the head, relax the arms, give them a bit of a shake. Let the fingers rest on the floor, bend the knees if you need to. And slowly swing from side to side. Let the head be heavy, arms are heavy. Notice how you're feeling here. You might be feeling hot. Again, the heart might be going a little bit. I'm definitely feeling hot. We've just done the inner fire sequence. This will be activating that place of courage, your inner fire, your inner determination. Okay, now bring your hands to that center point between the 2 feet. I want to walk the feet in just a tiny, tiny bit. Okay, make sure the toes are facing forwards. And then just to move towards ending this sequence, we're going to explore a little bit of being back in flight. So imagine that your right hand is a wing that's rising, and the elbow rises first. And then when you get your elbow to the highest point, the arm stretches, and your gaze follows the hand. And then you bend the elbow, bring that right hand down to the floor. Keep the knees bent so you're able to place the fingertips on the floor, and we'll do the same on the other side. Left elbow rises slowly, elbow goes as high as it can, then you unfold your arm, fold that wing, gaze follows, and then as your gaze lowers, following the hand, as it lowers, elbow bends, hand back down to the floor, swapping sides. Breathing in as the arm rises and unfolds. Breathing out as you fold the arm back in and take it back to the floor. Swapping sides. Inhale on the rise. Exhale as you lower. Just keep going. And let that gaze really follow. Again, gaze is really important in the jump, the film you're going to see in a moment. We're almost there. Gaze, and where the eyes are will be something you'll notice. Okay, one more to each side. Okay, lovely. Placing the hands back down to the floor. And take the fingertips away from the floor. We'll just do those swings from side to side. Easing out the back. Body to center. Bend the knees deeply. Uncurl. Uncurl your spine to standing. And once you're standing, roll the shoulders back a few times. Keep those shoulders loose. Bring your feet back to hip width apart. Lovely. Reaching up with the arms, bending the knees. I'm going to seal the sequence with that breath that we did at the beginning. Fists, standing tall. Bending knees, reaching up. Fists, that breath as you're pulling in, standing tall. And again. Going really slow and determined as you reach up. And then a sharp in, and again. Last one. Give this all you've got. Hold here. Chin to chest. Squeeze through the hands, the arms, the shoulders, the legs. Breathing in, hold the breath. Hold the breath in this bind. And then just let it go. And just shake out for a bit. Shake it out. Stepping back to mountain posture. Placing one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. And just settle here. Notice how you feel right now. You may be feeling hotter. You may be feeling energized. You may be feeling tired. Wherever you are at, it's fine, it's okay. Reach through the feet, root through the legs. Soften those shoulders and stand here tall and stand here strong. Feel the courage in your belly, that fire in your belly, the courage in your heart. Opening your eyes. And in whatever way works for you, coming down to sitting. And when you're sat, you can sit with your legs crossed, or I forgot to give you some variations earlier, but you can, if sitting with your legs crossed is not for you, you can sit with your legs out in front of you, or you can lean against the wall, you can sit with your legs aside, whatever feels comfortable for you as we go into view the jump. So the jump is one of Heitain's earlier films. I think he made this in 2015. And it's been very much inspired by, so close your eyes as you're listening to this, really sort of settle yourselves in. You may even want to keep your hands on your heart. And if you don't want to close your eyes, you can soften your gaze. I'll let you know when to open your eyes when the film starts. So, Hetain made this film in 2015, The Jump, and it is very inspired by his fascination with Hollywood, action movies, superheroes, particularly Spider-Man. And you'll see that he appears dressed as Spider-Man in the film. He's right there in the center of this film. And you'll notice that he's picking up on some of the slow motion movements that we've been using in today's yoga practice. So you'll see, hopefully, that connection. So he's combined this action movie superhero context with a very domestic setting. And this setting is his grandma's home. So it's a British Indian setting. And it's a house that she moved into in the mid-60s, a little bit later maybe. And various members of Heitain's family have lived in that house throughout the years since they've settled here in the UK. So what you'll see are two films. There's two parts to this film. One has that very action hero background and feel to it, and then you'll see the film again, but showing the context, showing the background of his grandma's house and the blending of the two. And you'll see some of his family appear in the film as well. That is all I'm going to say. Enjoy the films, and I will see you afterwards. So opening your eyes very, very slowly and gazing at your screen. Your eyes closed. So you've had your eyes open. Now close your eyes and keep your eyes closed. And as you've got your eyes closed, just think about what you've just experienced, the jump by Hetain Patel, and the yoga practice that led up to the moment of viewing both those films. And think about what resonated with you, what caught your attention, what will you remember from all of that practice, the film, the connections between the two. What will you take away with you? And how did that make you feel, physically, emotionally, within yourself? So this pause is just about absorbing everything that we have done so far. All the sequences, the postures, leading into the jump, part 1, part 2. Just relive that as you've got your eyes closed. And there'll be moments that are coming to you from all of that are your memorable moments that hopefully you will take with you after today. We will move into a relaxation in a moment. We may slightly overrun from 11:30, which is our official finish time, just because we started a bit late, so I hope you're able to stay with us. But just continue absorbing what you've experienced so far. And then, however you are sitting, and you may want to keep your eyes closed as you do this to stay in that moment, or you may want to open your eyes to help you settle yourself. But we're going to move into a lying down position. So I will demonstrate this first, and then I'll leave you lying down, but I'll get up to guide you through the relaxation. So you're bringing yourself to lying down. Actually, before we completely lie down, let's just hug our knees in. And you can hug the knees and wrap your arms around, or you can rest one hand on each knee and gently rock the spine from one side to the other. And then resting the feet on the floor, they're quite wide apart. And we're going to windshield wiper our legs. So the legs move from one side to the other. So we're massaging out the lower back. And then bringing ourselves to legs on the floor. Feet are shoulder width apart. Heels are in with the toes falling out. Softening the abdominal muscles now. We don't have to activate this core now. Wriggling the shoulders so you're really finding that comfortable place on the floor. Hands can rest on your belly if you prefer, or they can be in an open position where they're by your side with the palms facing up. And closing your eyes or softly gazing up at the ceiling. Now, if this hurts your lower back, if this is uncomfortable for your lower back, you can keep your knees bent and your feet on the floor, and that takes the pressure off the lower back. So take that option if it feels best for you. So find this position of savasana, of rest, of relaxation. Staying here, connecting with your breath, inhaling, exhaling, feeling that rise and fall of the belly, sensing into that rise and fall of the belly as you're breathing. So I will now sit up just to guide you through, but you stay lying down. And before we move into a guided relaxation, we're just going to help the muscles relax a little bit more. So we've done this a bit through the physical practice. I want you to squeeze all your muscles in. Squeeze the arms, squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the legs, pull the toes in. Just squeeze, scrunch up your face. Breathe in as you do this. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch here. And then as you sigh out, relax and just melt into the floor. We'll do that 2 more times. So breathing in, squeeze, 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 and then relax into the floor. And then again, squeeze. Breathing in, holding the breath as you're squeezing. And then really go for it this time. So the last time we're going to release into the floor in this way. And then relax. And let your weight
really be on the floor as you're resting. Closing those eyes, finding that arm position, hands on the belly or arms by your side, whatever you prefer. Feeling yourself breathing softly. It's a soft breath. Now, we've done lots of dynamic breathing today, but it's a soft, easeful breath. And as you're lying here, I'm going to invite you to go with me on a visualization. So imagine yourself lying on the floor. And then slowly, that heaviness that you have lying on the floor begins to ease. And you're feeling lighter and lighter. So light that you begin to float. And you feel as if you're moving into the air. Rising up. Imagine yourself moving into the air. Moving higher and higher. And you can go as high as you want to. You may rise higher, moving into mid-air. You may feel your body rise higher in that suspension, like we saw in the jump. Moving higher, maybe as far as the sky. Maybe beyond the sky, into the ether, beyond this earth. Go as high as you would like to be. And just for a moment, at that place of suspension, wherever you are, however high you've chosen to go, stay there. Feel that weightlessness. Feel that lightness and that strength in you as well as you are there in that place of height. Whether it's the clouds or the sky or beyond. Pause there for a moment. And then very, very slowly, we'll begin to come down. So feeling yourself lowering, gradually, take your time. Feeling yourself coming back from that height that you've reached. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Back towards the earth. Back towards the ground. And as I count down from 10 to 1, you'll find yourself back to the ground and feeling all those places that your body is in contact with the floor. 10, 9, getting lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your hands are on your belly, maybe just for the moment, rest them down on the floor so you feel your hands touching the floor. Notice all the contact points between your body and the floor, and let your body now become rooted and heavy on the ground. Feel yourself breathing. Come back to your breath. Head is heavy, legs are heavy, shoulders are heavy. We're coming back to anchoring and grounding after that moment of suspension and weightlessness. Pause here for a moment, and just for a minute I'm going to stop talking and let you find some silence and some stillness here, and then I'll guide you back out of this deep relaxation. So I'm going to pause for just a minute. Okay, so wriggling your fingers, wriggling your toes, bringing some movement back in the body, taking a full body stretch if you need to, doing any stretch or movement here that you need to just gently awaken the body. Keep your eyes closed, just move through any movement you want to that feels right for you to begin to just get the muscles moving, beginning to gently awaken yourself from the relaxation and the visualization we've just done. And then in your own way, keep those eyes closed or the gaze soft, rise up to sitting, legs crossed or any position that works for you here. And with the eyes closed, I would like you to place your hands on your belly. And take in the words I'm about to speak right now for yourself. So we'll finish with an affirmation. So with your hands on your belly, your inner fire center here, your center of courage. It's where your determination sits. Say these words to yourself. Absorb them, or absorb them as I'm saying them. I carry my courage with me. I'm daring to jump. I'm taking that leap of faith. Place your hands on your heart, one hand on top of the other. Again, those words. I carry my courage with me. I'm daring to jump. I'm taking that leap of faith. Hold that there, seal that in. Bring your hands into prayer position. Let the thumbs rest in the space between your forehead, where your intuition sits, your third eye. And intuition is so important when it works with courage. Again, those words. I carry my courage with me. I'm daring to jump. I'm taking that leap of faith. Slowly bringing your hands down. Just let them rest once more in the heart. Opening your eyes very, very slowly. You might need to blink a few times to bring the light back in. Welcome back. And that brings us to the end of our yoga practice, our yoga and art practice this morning. So just check with yourself how you're feeling right now. What words, what postures, what sequences, what parts of the film really resonated with you. Particularly those words about courage, taking those leaps of faith, daring to jump. Maybe there's something in your mind you're imagining that you want to do when you hear those words. And take them into the rest of your day, into the rest of your weekend. And hopefully that energy will really stay with you and help you through. So thank you so much for joining us. And this practice will stay on our YouTube channel, the New Art Exchange YouTube channel, for the rest of the season, for Hetain season, it may take us a few days to get it up, so bear with us. If you want to repeat it, it will be there. We also have some live yoga and art sessions coming up in March, and also a yoga and live music session, so do look on the website if you want to look at details for that. And if you are nearby and close by, do come to New Art Exchange to see Hetain's 3 films. The one that you saw is one of 3. You can see the jump on the big screen, and his film called Trinity, and Don't Look at the Finger, so real treat. So do visit us if you happen to be in the area. So I'm going to leave you here. Thank you so much for joining me, and take care. I'll see you soon.